like.
All right. This is AP Calculus Self-Check 10.3. This one's going to be out of 7 points, so it's kind of that weird idea of points here. We have a cool graph, and we've seen this graph before in the homework, I believe. This is a graph of f prime. Where is f increasing? So f is the integral of f prime. So first of all, what is the definition of f increasing, right? F increasing is where, there it is, f prime is greater than 0, which means we don't have to take the integral, actually. And what is f prime on a graph of f prime? Height.
Yes, sir.
So I'm asking, where is height greater than 0? And height is greater than 0 wherever I'm above the x-axis. I'm only above right there, so between -3 and -2. So I'll type out my answer now. So we say f is increasing on the interval from -3 to -2. And why? It says justify your answer, right? So it's because f prime is greater than 0. So how to score that one? I will give you 1 point if you got that interval between -3 and 2. You can do it in a different notation as well. You could have done inequality notation. I don't think anyone does that. And then 1 point if you said the reasoning, the justification. So that one was out of 2 points. Part B. Find the x-coordinate of inflection point. So inflection point, point of inflection. What is the definition of inflection point? Go. There it is. F double prime. Can't right here. F double prime sign change. All right. So on a graph of f prime, what is f double prime? Slope. So I'm looking for a slope sign change. Slope is negative, 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 negative. Oh, all of a sudden now positive, 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 positive. Oh, now negative, 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 negative. So we have 2 points of inflection at 0 and at 2. So we come down here, we say at x is equal to 0 and 2.
I did too. My coordinates.
Oh no. Interesting. So, I'll write this out. Inflection points at x is equal to 0 and 2. And it also asks for a justification.
I put 2 for the second one, but I put -2 for the first one because it was just right next to it. It's there. So we have to get both to get.
You have to get,
the whole
exactly,
We have
yeah.
to get both.
So you have to have 0 and 2 to get 1 point, and you get 1 point if you said f double prime sign change.
Get the f double prime sign change point.
Exactly, yeah. So that's out of 2. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I made that mistake like probably once or twice too. So it's not just you. It's just I've done it now. This is my 6th time doing this problem, so I probably don't make them as often. Equation for the line tangent. Whenever I see that, I immediately do what?
Y minus box equals box times x.
Unless you like took off.
Box
Got it tattooed under it.
times x minus box.
Oh, that's kinda
All right, so
You're gonna figure it out.
this is going to be the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate goes here, and the x-coordinate is clearly 0. All right, next I'm going to say what is f prime at that 0, and what is f of that 0. So this one is going to be a little bit harder to do, I think. This one is just going to be height. Because f prime on a graph of f prime is height. So I'm going to write height here. I can write a little bit neater than that. Again, my strategy, zoom in and zoom back out, and it looks nice, neat. So at 0, the height is -2. So this number here is -2.
Oh, it's the height. Ah, okay.
And f of 0, in order to find f of 0, I need to do an integral. So again, writing out my work, f of 0 is going to be our...
F of 0,
Are you giving it though?
Oh,
it's not gonna be.
dang, you're right. It's right there. Thank you. Yeah. It's just right there. That saves us a lot of work. I thought I was going to have to do some area. And that's the answer. So
That's it.
that's it. That's just 1 point. You should be able to get all of that. +1.
You used to give us a point for slope and a point for
Should I give you another point?
rest. You should give us more points?
Sure. Let's give 2 points for that one. +1 if you got the height. Plus, it's going to change my numerator up here. It's not out of 7 anymore, though.
Is that an 8?
So
That's
if we
okay.
didn't get the height and we
It's-
got the rest, we can still get a point.
So it's
No, you have to get everything in order to get that point. But if you got the height, it's 1 point.
So for the height, it's the -2, right?
Because that 1 point is also for the form. You have y minus blank. You have everything else correct. So it is literally everything
Wait, why do you
correct.
have 1 point for height then if you already have a point for height?
Fine, you can give yourself a point if you. It's just a self check.
Okay, never mind. Never
I'm making
mind,
this up on the
no,
go.
it's fine.
I don't care.
We're
I'm not going to argue.
very
What was your question, Claire?
So by height, you mean the -2?
Yeah, what is the height at 0? Because this is f prime. F prime on a graph of f prime is height. Yeah, part D. What is f of -3, f of 4? Okay, this is where we need to use an integral. So, let's do f of -3 first. F of -3. How do I find that guy? Well, it's the start plus change equals the end type of thing. What is our start? Does it tell us? Hey, there it is. Our start time or x coordinate is 0, and the start amount is 3. So I come down here and say our amount starts at 3. And then it's going to be start plus change. So change is going to be the integral between 0 and this -3, and that's a problem.
Negative, it's 3 minus the integral from -3 to 0.
You know, let's change this to minus the integral from -3 to 0 now of our f prime of x dx. All right, so I need to find area. This is area between -3 and 0, between -3 and 0, so that positive area and that negative area right here. Let's find that. Well, that is a 1 by 1, and then half of that is a half, so I have 0.5 for that area. This is a 2 by 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. Half, because the triangle is -2. And add them all together, and I get the area of -1.5, but it's already a minus.
Wait, 1.5?
I got -1.5, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
0.5 and -2, yep. So I have this minus, and then this area, I'll do a little bracket thing. This area right here is -1.5, which means this is equal to 3 minus -1.5, or 4.5. All right, and it's 1 point if you just got that. So +1 for that one answer, and I'll give you +1 if you get the final answer for the next one. So f of 4. F of 4, again, it's the start amount 3 plus now the integral from 0 to 4. There's no switching involved here, so it's just f prime of x dx. And what is the area between 0 and 4? And that's this guy. Again, you're finding this area right here, not the area. I know I made this mistake a few times. It's not this area right here. So how do I find this area right here? Well, we've done it before, I think, in like a homework or a lesson. I don't remember where, but I definitely remember seeing this. And generally, you find the area of the rectangle. You subtract the area of, I can make a better semicircle. Subtract the area of the semicircle, and that will give us what we want. And that thing that we want is this area right here. Yoink, like that. So the area of this rectangle, I'll do it correct this time. Last time I got it wrong, right? It's 2 by 4, which is 8.
Yes.
That's the thing I made a mistake on. What did I call last time? 4, I think. And then this is going to be a circle that has a radius of 2. Again, the center's here. It goes up 2. So square that, 4 times pi. So the whole area would have been 4 pi, but it's only half of that, so 2 pi. So this entire area, and again, it's going to be negative by the very beginning, or at the very end, because it's below the x-axis. But in terms of just the area, ignoring the negatives and positives, I know my watch is saying, hey, you have a timer for 412. This is 8 minus 2 pi. 8 minus 2 pi. But the problem with that is that's assuming it's positive area. So we now need to switch that and say, hey, all of that, make that negative. And our real area is -8 plus 2 pi. Is everyone clear on why it's -8 plus 2 pi? Fist of 5 real quick. That's a thumbs up. 100%. I'll give you a 5 out of 5. Question?
No, I think I'm getting it.
Okay. So -8 plus 2 pi, come down here. I'm going to say that that area right there is -8 plus 2 pi. And I just need to add everything now. So what do we do here? 3 and -8 gives us -5, and then plus 2 pi. And there's our answer. So another point if you got that. That's going to be out of 1. And that means 1 plus 2. Oh, wait, out of 1. Out of 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm going to change this now to an 8 because we want to add the extra point in. Again, this is not really a true AP question. I'm kind of picking out bits and pieces that I think are important. Rather, John was picking out bits and pieces that he thought was important. All right, any questions on self-check 10.3? Then we're going to go on to things that we learned. Let's start with Geo this time. Switching it up. What did you learn, Geo, from the self-check?
I learned 2 things. I remember the definition of a what's it called?
Inflection point.
Inflection point. I know what it kind of said, but like another full thing.
Okay.
I only got 1 point on that question, and I refreshed my brain how to do number 4.
Oh, no, like the start plus change, or is it the areas that messed you
No,
up?
the start plus change.
Okay, nice. Stego, what'd you learn?
The start plus change got before.
All right.
And then I didn't know how to find the height, or like the slope for number 3, or C, I guess. But now I know.
All right. Cool. Claire, what'd you learn?
Make sure it's the edge coordinate, not the y coordinate. And also just watch for my subtraction and addition signs because I got the second part of D wrong because of that.
That's what I got it.
This part right here, or
The second
oh
part.
yeah,
I
the
did-
second
I
part,
did
like this part up
4
here.
plus 8 plus 2 pi for some reason. It was just weird addition and yeah.
4. Okay. And Arrow, what'd you learn?
That I should like write out definitions, and then the same thing, kind of similar to Claire, that getting like negative from levels right.
Okay. And I didn't ask, but how many points did you get out of 8?
Oh, 4.
Cool. All right, 10 minutes. Self-check 10.4. All right, so this is self-check 10.4. We do have a calculator this time. This is the first time. I don't know if 10.5 and 10.6 have them. I'm going to guess yes, because we haven't had enough calculator practice. All right, A, use the graph. This is f prime to determine if f is concave up, down, or neither. Okay, so what is the definition of f concave up?
Double prime positive.
That's where, yes, f double prime is greater than 0, and then concave down is where? There it is, f double prime less than 0. And, okay, so for both of these, let me choose a different color here. For both of these are both f double prime on a graph of f prime, which is slope. Good. All right, so I'm looking at their slopes, and I determine that if I'm a positive, so I have positive, 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 all the way up to this point when it tells us that point, right? Does it tell us what that point is?
No, but it says
Oh.
1.7 and 1.9. We can assume
That's
that's
kinda
not 1.7 because it's.
Oh yeah, 1.7 is like right about there, right? And then 1.9 is right about there. So in that interval, oh, we only are looking at that interval, so it's clearly a negative slope, and it's only concave down. Yeah, good point. So how are we going to write that? We're going to say f is concave down on that interval 1.7, 1.9. And it also does say explain your reasoning. Okay, so that means we need a because. Because. We just need the definition of concave down. F double prime is less than 0. Done.
Susan, now, if we didn't specifically mention 7.1 and 7.9, but we got everything else.
Yeah, if you said concave down because f double prime is less than 0,
Yep.
that is, yeah, full points. Yeah, and then that's going to be 1 point if you said concave down somewhere, and 1 point if you said the reasoning f double prime less than 0 somewhere in there, and that's going to be added 2 points. And I'm going to wait to do this. I was going to be out of 8, but you guys might want to add points in here, so let's see. So, part B. We're trying to find the absolute maximum, and that's a table. So, table, boom, boom, and boom. Onomatopoeia there. All right, so we got some x coordinates. We need a start, 0. We need an end, 3. We need all relative extrema, and that's where it crosses through the x-axis, but we can exclude some of these, yeah? Because we're looking for a maximum. That means we're going from a, is that positive to a negative or negative to a positive?
Positive.
Positive to a negative. Yeah, so I'll write from positive to a negative. Did I hear?
Advisory class to me, he was like, oh, my wife had a baby.
Start plus change. That is equal to our end. All right, so what is our start? Does it tell us in this problem? Oh, yes, the start x coordinate is 0, and the start amount is 5, so I'll label that. That is our start amount. So again, that is 5 and 5. And as I was saying, I kind of skipped this. I only care about positive to a negative, so that is a possible maximum. That is not, and again, another way of thinking about it is preceded by negative areas. So by the time I get to this point, I'm going backwards. So I'm really only going to be checking that point. I'm going to ignore the rest. So that's, I don't know what point that is. I'm going to have to pull up my calculator. Yeah, let's do that now. So pull up, hold on, this calculator. I didn't enter the equation yet. Sorry that you're going to have to wait for me to do this. Let's see how fast I can go. So second e to the power of negative x over 4. That's all going to be times sine of x squared. All right, so I have my equation. I don't need to set my window. Do I? Oh, I do. Yeah, so window between, looks like 0 and 3. So 0, enter, 3, enter, and zoom 0. So while that's graphing, if we want to find the where it crosses. We want to find the 0. So I'm going to do second trace to calculate the 0. So that's going to be second trace 2. Go, calculator, go. And then we'll find this value. Let's pretend I did that because I did it ahead of time. 1.772. And the start value there is going to be 5. So our change is going to be the integral from, our start x coordinate is 0. So it's going to be the integral from 0 to this x coordinate, 0. This is going to be plus the integral from 0 to this x coordinate, 1.772, plus the integral from 0 to this x coordinate, 3 of our f prime function. So I'm just going to say f prime to be lazy, f prime, f prime, f prime, and that's gone. So that one, that end value, I can do in my head, 5. This one I need some more work. And by the way, here it is, second trace to my left boundary. Let's say 1, 2, my guess, I don't know, 1.5, somewhere in between there. And you should get 1.772. Is that? Yes, okay, 1.772. Now we can say, okay, what is the integral between 0 and 1.772? You can do it graphically, but it's faster to go, I'm going to do 5 plus as well. The initial value plus math 9 of vars right, enter, enter, y1 with respect to x from 0 to 1.772. And we get 5.679. 5.679. What about this one? I can hit, let's get out of that. I can hit second enter to go back, and then instead of entering 1.772, I can hit delete, 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 and hit 3, hit enter. It's a little faster way of entering it. And we get, what is that going to be? Like, I don't know, 5.5, yeah, 5.579. 5.579. All right, so we're looking for the biggest one. Well, that's a 6, that's a 5. So our biggest one is right there. Let's type it out. So absolute, there, thank you, maximum is 5.679, and that happens at time is equal to 1.772. How to score yourself? You get 1 point if you got 1.772, which is what it's asking for, right? Find the x value, and we found the x value is 1.772. You get 1 point if you somehow justified your answer using a table where you actually found the relative extrema. So plus 1 point using the table, and plus 1 point if you actually found 1.772 to consider at least that one value. And that's going to be out of 3. Yes.
I got the answer, but I phrased it weird.
How'd you phrase it?
I said absolute maximum at 1.772 equals x with a value of 5.679.
Yeah, full points.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right, on to the final part, C. Find the equation for the line tangent. Okay, as soon as I see equation, line tangent, I immediately do y minus box is equal to box. That's going to be a bigger box because it's decimal, I bet, with a calculator. Times x minus small box, since we know that value, it's given right there. Okay, so we know that that's the x value, which is 2. This is going to be f prime of 2, and this is going to be f of 2. All of these are going to be found with the calculator. So how do we do these on the calculator? Let's do f of 2 first. It's faster. Let's clear out all of this. That's going to be vars right, enter, enter, y1 of 2. Blunk, like that. And we get
Isn't
negative.
that f prime of
Yeah.
Ah, dang it,
But
that's
no,
F prime.
That's still the answer for
Yeah.
F prime of
We
two.
just-
Yeah, I was doing this one. You're right. That's the easier one to do. Yeah, this is, I should be careful. That is F prime. It told us that's F prime. Thank you for the catch. You can log it. Yeah, so this is F prime of 2, which is negative 0.459. And to find this one, that's going to be the integral. So come down here and say, how do I find F of 2? Well, F of 2, you do start plus change equals n. So start again, that's the 5 from up here. 5 plus the integral from 0 to, and this x squared right here, 2 of f prime. F prime. That's going to equal what? Okay, so I do 5 plus math 9 vars right, enter with respect to x from 0 to 2. And if I add that all together, I should get like 5.623. Yeah, 5.623. 5.623, and that is what I'm looking for. Okay, so scoring yourself. You get 1 point if you got that answer. So plus 1 if you got 5.623, and that, I should fill it in. Oops. 5.623. So 1 point if you got 5.623. Let me back up here and put that in the right spot. 5.623. I want to put the plus 1 above that part. So plus 1 point for that hard bit. Plus 1 if you, plugged in that one correctly, and plus 1 if you finish the rest of the equation. That means the x minus 2, that means the y minus, and everything is in the correct form, and that's an actual 2 plus 1 for everything else. So that's going to be out of 3 points. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8. All right, how did we do? We got 6 minutes left of class. Points out of 8. Dang, nice. All right, cool. So, what do we learn? Start with arrow this time.
On the last one, I didn't put the starting condition. I forgot to consider that.
Oh, so you got 1.63?
I just got 0.62.
Right, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Or yeah,
think that was
0.63.
the main thing.
Okay. What'd you learn, Claire?
I don't have to do every single value for the table.
That's true, although I should be wary of saying that because I know in some of the keys, they do give you a point even if you consider a wrong value. They say, oh, you have to find both of those two x values in your table, but you don't have to do any work after you find it. So I think I should do a better job of saying, no, we should find that value. It was 2.507. If you come down here, can I move everything? Let's move this right there. You should have found 2.507. You have to be careful. Sometimes they do give you a point, sometimes they don't. 2.507. So yeah, don't take that as your takeaway because you're doing it correct. But you don't have to do all the work for it because you can kind of do the analysis. Stego, what'd you learn?
The last one, I didn't really know how to do it. And then for the second one, I got the whole thing right, but my windows I had 0 to 24 from the last time I used
Woo!
this. There you go. Yeah, I know, but I still got it. And I noticed that.
Impressive. Okay.
Yeah. So probably just double check them out. The window.
For sure. Okay. No, that's a good thing to learn. Gio, what'd you learn?
To check if I can use a calculator or not.
That is a very good thing to know. Yeah. All right. Cool. And that concludes self-check 10.4.